Hey guys, it's Bob here with the Tuning School, and today I'm going to be discussing with you 3 things that you need to check before you start tuning to make sure your session goes right. Check it out. Alright guys, so welcome back. Today I've got 3 things that I want you as a good tuner to check before you get started. This happens every time after you build a car. Maybe you did heads and cam or a supercharger, or you've disturbed the engine bay in some way, or maybe you've done an LS swap or something like that. You go to fire up the car and you're a good tuner, so you kind of know what you're looking for, and you start tuning and you go, man, something's just not right. The fueling's not responding right. Maybe it's too rich or it's too lean or something just isn't quite right. And you went straight to tuning. I've done it plenty of times. So I've got 3 things that I want you to focus on just with the key on, engine off after any of these situations. So the first thing you're going to do, key on, engine off, start your scanner. I've got a scan here as a sample. And essentially, your first one you're always going to want to check, which I would argue has one of the biggest impacts on your tune, is the map sensor. I've got it here in purple. And key on, engine off at sea level should be between, say, 98 and 101 kPa. That's where we live here in Florida. It's roughly 100 kPa. Let's say you're at a higher altitude. Maybe you're out in Denver somewhere, like 5,000 feet up. Wouldn't be uncommon to see this in the 90s, like 92 kPa or 90 kPa. Depends on how high you are. So the higher you are, the lower this value will be. But it should be somewhere between 90 and 100, roughly, depending on your altitude where you live. If you start tuning and you've got the wrong map sensor in and you don't know it, your whole tune is messed up from start to finish because your idle's wrong, your part throttle's wrong, full throttle's wrong. It's going to be either really rich or really lean depending on which way the sensor is wrong. So for example, you might put a new 2-bar map sensor in and you don't have the settings quite right. That's why we always come in here and check this, because you can make that adjustment in the tune by scaling that or adjusting that map sensor up or down until you get it to match based on your current altitude. So always check the map sensor first. The second thing that has a large impact on your tune is going to be, is the engine coolant temperature sensor functional and accurate? So that has to work, because this skews the fueling throughout the whole runtime of the engine, because cold starts are affected by this, hot starts are affected by this. And if you don't know this to start with, all these changes you're going to make to try and fix it, they're not fixing the root cause of the problem. This is it. A lot of times people just forget to plug it in when they've done a heads cam swap or something. Next thing you know, it has the wrong coolant temp and your tune is all over the place. Third and final thing I'm going to cover today is going to be your intake air temperature sensor right here. Now, with the key on, engine off, this should display pretty close to what it is, around your vehicle right now. It hasn't been running in a while, so it has no reason to be hotter than it should. But just understand, just like your engine coolant temperature sensor, when this is wrong or not working properly, see it all the time, this becomes a real problem for fueling control all the time. So how much spark's being pulled when, or how much is being added when. Again, a lot of good tuners, I've done it plenty of times, but a lot of good tuners end up kind of messing up the whole tune because they didn't realize this sensor was either unplugged or is just screwed up or whatever. I mean, after any LS swap, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these sensors are just not plugged in or wired wrong. So guys, just make sure A, they're functional, and B, make sure that they are making sense. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.